Okay, and so this is same exponent but advanced. I think what they mean by advanced is they just put a negative exponent on there, which really doesn't change anything. Going to be exactly the same pretty much. And so we've got 6.43 times 10 to the negative 8 plus 7.54 times 10 to the negative 8. And so we're going to add those two numbers up, keep the same exponent, and we're done. So that's going to give us 13.97 times 10 to the negative 8. Now, we need to recognize, as we've had before, that that is not correct scientific notation. We need only one number in front of the decimal. I believe that that's going to be equivalent to 1.397 times 10 to the negative 7, but I'm going to have to write it in standard form and then put it back in scientific notation form just to check. So we're going to go for it. 13.97 to the negative 8 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is going to give us 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then to put it back in scientific notation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, yep, that is going to be 1.397 times 10 to the negative 7. Okay. And this time we have 3.76 times 10 to the third minus 2.94 times 10 to the third. Okay, so 3.76 minus 2.94. I'm going to use my calculator. 0.82. Keep the exponent the same when we add or subtract numbers in scientific notation. So we've got this thing 0.82 times 10 to the third. We want to make that look like correct scientific notation, and I think that's going to be 8.2 times 10 to the power of 2. What I'm going to do, though, is rewrite that in standard form and then put it back in scientific notation just to make sure I did that right. So 1, 2, 3. And then we'll go back to scientific notation, 1, 2. So you have 8.2 times 10 to the power of 2. Okay, and 6.1 times 10 to the power of 8 minus 5.7 times 10 to the power of 8. And that's going to give us 0.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Written correctly in scientific notation, that's going to be 4 times, I think, 10 to the 7th. But I'm going to have to write it in standard form and then put it back in scientific notation just to make sure I did that right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so back to scientific notation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so yes, that is going to be 4 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, one more. We have 7.45. Did we already get this one? No. Okay. 7.45 times 10 to the 7th plus, don't know why that disappeared. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to have to do this a bit differently because my thing doesn't want to connect correctly. So we had 6.12, I think, times 10 to the 7th. And that's going to give us 13.6, nope, 13.57 times 10 to the 7th. And again, that's not written correctly in scientific notation, so we would have to fix that to be 1.357 times 10 to the 8th. I'm going to double check that that should be to the 8th and not to the 6th, so I'm going to put that back in standard form. Move the decimal 7 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's going to give us that number. Then putting it back in scientific notation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so that is going to be equivalent to 1.357 times 10 to the 8th.